Hey, Coach. Thanks for taking the time today.
Morning, morning. Appreciate you guys having me back again.
We'll get started here with Josh Tolentino and then Ed Kratz.
Hey, Michael. Good morning. Good to see you. I
Morning.
was wondering, now that you've had some chance to digest the film on the blocked field goal, if you could assess what happened there, and I guess what was the teaching point to that unit to assure, I guess, that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, just watching it, a couple times over, it almost turned into kind of the perfect storm, really, in terms of what happened. Kinlaw made a heck of a play. Just looking at it, just trying to see anything's being really critical. Like he jumped up, timed it perfectly. There's a little wind right there that Jake had to get through. Obviously, we love to get all of our points, especially inside 50 yards. But once again, credit to Kinlaw. He got up there, he timed it perfectly, got his big paw on it. I mean, he's a first-round draft pick for a reason. He did that in South Carolina. It's not like we didn't know that they had a good rush scheme or a good rush team for the most part. It's just one of those things where you hate for it to happen, but it happened. And, we don't want that to happen again. But once again, it was just one of those things that Kinlaw got his big mid up there and made a heck of a play. Dallas almost saved that play by almost getting the first down. It was just one of those things where it's football. Hopefully we get a couple of those on field goal block, but they got us on that one. Obviously, we want to get points on the board, especially inside the 50. But you look at it, you want to learn from it, then move forward.
Go ahead, Ed, and then Bo.
Yeah, hi, Michael. Just to follow up on that, when you say it was the perfect storm, was it pressure up front, or was it just Kinlaw jumping up? I mean, was there any pressure up the middle, and did Jake hit it a little lower than he probably would have liked?
There really wasn't any pressure. More than anything else, it was a nice pocket. It was good operation. A little headwind, for 48 yards, you have to hit it a little bit lower to get it through there. It's no different than you golf aficionados trying to get it through a headwind. You have to hit it a little bit thinner, a little bit lower to get it under that wind. But once again, credit to Kinlaw. He got his big mid up there, blocked it, and we have to move forward from it. But once again, it was just one of those things where they get paid to make plays, we get paid to make kicks, so it's one of those things, give and take. But we still want to get all of our points, especially inside 50 yards.
Go ahead, Bo, and then John.
Mike, it seemed like there was that one play where Zach almost downed it right before the end zone, and then it went inside. But it seems like Aaron has done a good job getting those balls in savable positions. How often does he work on that?
Yeah, Aaron's done a phenomenal job the first couple weeks. And it's one of those things that we've been working on since training camp, since rookie mini camp, in terms of Thursdays, or I guess the second day is when we really work with the gunners. And, it's just good work for everyone. Zach was probably, the good thing about that play was Zach was so emotional and upset at himself that it gives us that confidence, like he cares and he just wants to do everything good, especially a young guy like that, trying to make that play. He made 2 of those plays in Atlanta. He just has to slow down. A young guy, first home game. He's amped up. He's going and everything like that. And he just rolled into the ball right there and it went to the end zone. But Aaron's done a phenomenal job working with the gunners, working with our returners to give them the look, how to play it. And if he just keeps doing that, it's going to help us out. He came back and pinned him inside the 10 with that inside the 40, which is actually one of the harder ones because you just don't know how much you could gauge it. But he's been doing a phenomenal job giving our defense a long field in terms of those plus 50 punts.
Go ahead, John.
Hey, Mike. One of those positive notes, the average starting field position for the opponent's been pretty good from your perspective through the first 2 games. What do you think is working there? And sort of to that gunner thing, Andre was a late addition to this team. How much has he meant for your units?
Yeah, to answer your first part, the whole field position thing, that's what we really want to thrive on in our coverages. Obviously, to help the whole team out. If you could give your defense a long field, it helps flip the field for the offense as well. So it's not just a one part; it's a whole type of recipe, really. So, been very happy with how our coverage team has been going down, especially punt and kickoff. to give our defense some long fields, especially with those guys up front that can rush. So we just want to keep that going, and we have a tough task ahead of us with Dallas. As for the second part with Andre, he's been phenomenal. You know, he's not like it's a rookie coming in off a practice squad. He's been in the league for a while, but he's extremely smart. He comes in, he wants to get better. He's hard on himself. Tyler Brown's been working with him a lot behind the scenes just to get him caught up again. You know, missing that whole month with the training camp. But Andre's been very good for us, and we're going to keep that up with him and Zach and everybody else on the special teams aspect of the game. So Andre's been great, and he's just going to keep getting better and better as the season goes on.
We'll go to Zach Berman next.
Hey, Michael, the way the league views kind of extra point and 2-point situations has evolved over the past few years. We saw that, you know, when you score a touchdown down 14. As a special teams coordinator, how attuned are you to those situations? Are you just ready to send your extra point guys out no matter what? Or are you more attuned to those situations as well?
No, you definitely, you know, it goes into the whole football awareness and IQ that we talk about so much around here. You know, for a special teams, you know, it's not just an automatic, all right, just go kick a field goal. There's many situations that run through your head that you prepare yourself from January on. I mean, you go through almost like a checklist of yourself, like, hey, we're down so many points. How do we, you know, get closer? If it's a 16-point game, obviously you want to. But, you know, vice versa, if you got the lead, hey, it's 15 points. Why not go for 2 and make it a 3-score game? So there's always a checklist that you go running through your mind. But obviously we talk with Nick and everything about that. Like, hey, he wants to go for 2. All right, that's fine. Let's watch this 2-point conversion. Let's get the kickoff coverage ready to make another long field for our defense. So there is like a checklist that, you know, personally myself, I go through my, all right, this is a situation where, hey, we're going to hold the field goal team back or the extra point team back if they want to go for 2. But it's a whole communication between everyone upstairs and Nick on what we want to do in that situation.
Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, Michael, I just want to ask, I know the game's changed as far as kickoff returns go. There's just not a lot of them. But how much freedom do you give Quez to make the decision whether he's going to come out or not on a kickoff?
Yeah, I usually give Quez, you know, a starting point. Obviously, with a guy with that type of speed, you do want him to flash it, but there's also that whole, you know, let's help out the team as well. If the team is moving the ball well and, you know, we give that field position to the 25, let's take it. Let's not be greedy. But if there's an opportunity where he does get it, or if it's a short kick, we got to do the other 10 got to block, and they got to know that, hey, in any situation this ball doesn't go through the end zone, we got to make sure we're on our blocks and give Quez the best opportunity to return it. So there it comes to, you know, what the environment is, what the situation is, how do we want to play it. So there's a lot of variables, but I do give Quez, you know, hey, be at this depth or whatever, and if it goes over your head, it goes over your head. We'll get it the next time. You know, we'll get our shots. You know, you're not going to hit a home run every time. You got to pick and choose, and you just got to be patient. You know, the return game is has to do with a lot of just being patient. Because when you do get your opportunity, we got to hit that opportunity because you don't get many, especially with these kickers that, you know, hit the ball 10 yards deep. So there is a lot of give and take with it.
Go ahead, Chris, and then Jeff.
Hey, Michael, what have you seen so far this year from CeeDee Lamb when it comes to the punt return game?
You know, I've always been a fan of CeeDee Lamb, even in his time at Oklahoma in terms of his punt return ability. We played against him last year when I was in San Francisco, and he's a very fluid athlete. He catches the ball well. He's going to take some chances, but these are all calculated chances. It's not like he goes off the reservation or goes rogue or something like that. He's a strong runner. And he's very elusive, so it has to take a full team effort. One, it starts with, you know, our protection. Bonesy runs some very good games. Obviously, knowing Bonesy the past 4.5 years with him being in LA and playing him last year, we got to get that ball off. We got to be stout in protection. Then once Aaron gives us a good ball to go cover, it's got to be 10 other guys going down there trying to corral him. It's got to be a full team effort to get him down. You're not going to expect one-on-one tackles a lot with an athlete like CeeDee Lamb. So it all starts with, 1, the protection. 2, Aaron giving us a good ball for us to cover. Then everybody else getting off their blocks and making a team effort to get CD down because he is a very, very good punt returner.
All right, we'll take 2 more here. So go ahead, Jeff, and then Howard.
Hey, Mike, I'm curious, in your career as an NFL coach, working with some of the coaches you work with before in front offices, the way game is changing. Have you ever heard any discussions about teams specifically targeting whether it's NBA players or taller than lengthier type of athletes for field goal block scenarios? Almost using a roster spot and kind of gauging the value of having someone who could do that?
Personally, no, I haven't thought about, having an NBA type player or a 6'10" player, just because our numbers are so limited and you have to have a specific role to help the team in other capacities. Like, you really don't want to use a one guy for one thing. But if someone comes, later down the line or this year that they recruited a 6'10" former basketball player just for field goal block, kudos on that. Maybe they're going to be trendsetters, but I haven't thought about that or had a conversation about that in any capacity. But, crazier things have happened.
Last one here with Howard.
Michael, the onside kick. Number one, how difficult is that in today's world, the way the rules are, to recover an onside kick? And in last Sunday's game, did you talk to Nick at all about that possibility at the end of the game? And was that a discussion?
Yeah, the onside kick, it's very difficult. It's not like something you can scheme up and I know he's going to get hit and everything. It has to do a lot with how the ball comes off the ground. It hits differently off grass, how it's differently off turf. It's more of a game of chance. You try to get a good game plan from what the opposing coordinator has done in terms of his configuring of his hands team. But it's one of those things where it's you spin the wheel and see what happens, which is exciting to everyone else. You never know what's going to happen. And in terms of our conversation, we do have a conversation in terms of, hey, do we want to kick this deep? Do we want to kick it short? Try our onside kick, and me and Nick have that conversation, prior to the kickoff team going out there, and we made that decision that we thought kicking it deep for a long field would have been the best opportunity. And Jake did a heck of a job, putting the pressure on their hands team, not letting it go back for a touchback. They had to return it, and you saw we kept them inside the 15 and give us a chance. You never know what could happen. A fumble snap, a couple big tackle for losses. Now we get the ball back with a certain amount of time on a short field that could help out our offense. So there is a certain conversations that myself and Nick have and the people upstairs in terms of our clock management.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thank you, guys.